Welcome back to This Day in Scottish History. I'm your host, Colin MacDonald. Today, we journey back to May 12th, 563, when a small boat carrying 13 men made landfall on a windswept island off Scotland's western coast. Their leader was St. Columba, a noble born Irish monk with a sharp intellect, a commanding presence, and a fire in his soul for spreading the Christian faith. That tiny scrap of land was the Isle of Iona, and what began as a quiet landing would soon blossom into one of the most profound religious and cultural revolutions in early medieval Britain. And if you're curious about other fascinating events that happened on this date in history, be sure to check out my blog at bagtownclans.com/thisday. The link will be in the description. Columba's journey to Iona was not just a spiritual mission, it was, in part, an exile. Born around 521 in what is now County Donegal, Ireland, Columba, known in Gaelic as Columcille, was from a powerful clan and educated in the monastic tradition. Charismatic and fiercely intelligent, he quickly rose through ecclesiastical ranks, but his fiery temperament led to conflict. A dispute over a copied manuscript escalated into a bloody battle in 561. Racked with guilt and perhaps urged by church authorities, Columba vowed to leave Ireland and convert as many souls as had perished in that fight. So, with 12 loyal companions, symbolic of Christ and his apostles, Columba set sail across the sea. Their journey ended on the sacred shores of Iona, a tiny, remote island just 1.5 miles wide and 3 miles long. It was the perfect place for both penance and purpose. There, Columba established a monastery that would become the heart of Christian missionary activity in Scotland and beyond. The early monastic life on Iona was austere and rigorous. The monks lived simply, toiled in the fields, copied manuscripts, and gathered for prayer and study. But from this humble beginning emerged a powerhouse of learning and sanctity. Columba himself was a towering figure, known for his intense devotion, his reputed miracles, and his diplomatic skills. He played a key role in converting the Picts, the dominant people of northern Scotland, and forging ties with local kings, including King Bride of the Picts. The influence of Iona grew rapidly. It became a centre of literacy and scholarship at a time when much of Europe was descending into darkness. Monks trained at Iona were sent to establish churches and schools across Scotland and northern England. Its scribes produced illuminated manuscripts, including, many believe, the early work that would culminate in the Book of Kells, one of the world's most stunning examples of medieval art. But the monastery's influence wasn't only spiritual, it became a political player, mediating disputes among clans and kings. The abbot of Iona was not just a religious figure, but a significant leader in his own right. And through Columba's diplomatic reach, Christianity became woven into the very fabric of Scottish identity. Columba died in 597, but his legacy endured. For centuries, Iona remained a place of pilgrimage and reverence. It became the burial site for Scottish, Irish, and even Norse kings. Legend holds that over 60 monarchs found their final rest in its hallowed ground, including Macbeth and Duncan, the real life counterparts to Shakespeare's tragic figures. Yet, like many sacred places, Iona suffered through the centuries. Viking raids in the 8th and 9th centuries brought fire and death. The monks were scattered, and the monastery was repeatedly rebuilt. Still, the memory of Columba and the light of Iona never fully dimmed. Even today, visitors from around the world make the pilgrimage to Iona to walk where Columba walked, to feel the peace of the island winds, and to reflect on the man who brought the gospel to Scotland. The arrival of Columba on May 12th, 563, was a quiet act that echoed through centuries. He came not with an army, but with words, conviction, and faith. And through that faith, he changed a nation's destiny. Thank you for joining me today on This Day in Scottish History. I hope you've been inspired by the story of St. Columba and the island of Iona, a tale of redemption, vision, and lasting influence. Don't forget to check out my blog for more historical events at bagtownclans.com/thisday. Tune in tomorrow for another journey through Scotland's remarkable past. I'm Colin MacDonald. Haste ye back.